How did you get into philosophy?
Well, I grew up in Germany, in Munich, and I was lucky enough to go to the kind of high school where we started learning Latin in fifth grade, and then in seventh grade I had English, and in ninth grade I could choose between French and ancient Greek. And for some reason, there were 10 of us, and it had to be 10, who chose ancient Greek. And we had this just absolutely fantastic teacher who was very, very philosophical. And as soon as we were able to, he had us translate Plato mostly. And so immediately I was just fascinated by it.
What is it that you find wonderful about metaphysics?
Yeah, wonderful is an interesting term. I think what I'm passionate about and what I enjoy is just being able to think about everything whatsoever. So metaphysics studies the nature of reality as such, and so as metaphysicians, we really have the whole universe in the palm of our hands, so to speak.
Is there anything in particular that frustrates you about metaphysics that kind of really grinds your gears about the way that the subdiscipline is practiced?
Um, Not really. I mean, I really love it. So it's hard for me to think of anything that I find frustrating about it. I do think it's difficult, but that's also, that's a fun challenge about it. I think on the contrary, it's kind of an exciting time for metaphysics right now, especially I view myself as being part of this Aristotelian or Neo-Aristotelian trend that's been going on now for several decades, and people like Kit Fine and Jonathan Lowe had a lot to do with reviving the interest in this style of doing metaphysics. And so yeah, I think it's a really great time to be a metaphysician or to become a metaphysician.
And what is the craziest philosophical position that you've ever held?
Well, I think what other people would say when they're characterizing my views, they would say that I believe that forms are proper parts of objects. So, according to the doctrine of hylomorphism, objects are in some sense compounds of matter and form. And according to the view that I've defended in my book, The Structure of Objects, I've argued that both the matter and the form are parts of material objects in the very same sense of parthood. So they're strictly and literally speaking parts of objects. So I find that to be the most attractive combination of views, but I certainly have gotten pushback, and I understand why people, when they hear that for the first time, would be puzzled by this idea, because I think many people approach parthood for material objects thinking that from the get-go, material objects would only have material parts.